All right, 1 minute in. We got another 55 seconds to go. All right, we got about 7 seconds left. That is a long trade there at 62.66. That might be the next trade. We'll go to 67. 62.67, a 1-tick adjustment because it already hit 66. And that trade has a stop of 48. And then, of course, you can see the targets there at 80 and the others. So far, still valid. We could get in sync. It hasn't stopped out. There's not a new setup. And now we have a short, this time at 53, right in front of the low of the day. That's a tough trade. And it did hit 53. I would cancel the long setup. And you can get in sync if you want to get short on top of that 50-cent level. That's a tough call. 3 cents in front of the low of the day and the mighty 50-cent level. I did not place that trade because it went too fast. And now I'm looking at it going 52. If you go to 49, you just destroy the whole setup. It's such a small setup. That is a correct trade at 53. There's a new one. There's a new one. If you didn't take that one, you can get the one at 48.
Order
Unfortunately,
filled.
my platform's hopping around, having a hard time grabbing it. Yeah, I did get filled at 48. So I took that second one. The first one hit money management. That was the correct one. And now the second one might get me into trouble here. I'm dealing with this sink or swim thing hopping around. It's just hard to get the trade executed. So the first trade hit money management. If you got the second trade, the target's 32. Yeah, this is a little bit tricky. So there's a long now, and the long trade is at 58. If you're in the short, then you would adjust, and I would just go to 61 because there's really no safe place to adjust. There's just too many other layers. This is a little bit trickier than it usually is. So just to let you know where I'm at, I'm in the green trade. I got a stop and reverse on the white trade. The purple trade was a 1-tick winner, so now we have another long 63. Yeah, these are terrible little, tiny little setups. The green trade's too small once you adjust it. It's like barely worth, you'd have to go to target 3 if you were to adjust that one. Definitely not the greatest price reaction here, so hopefully it'll catch its breath and make a decision on which way it's going. Definitely would like to see this go down, but it looks like it's building some support. Let's see where it goes at this point. So that short trade's valid. I mean, if you're, I'm still short on the green trade, but if you got in the white trade, you have a stop and reverse at 44. And then you have to go to target 3. You're trading into the low of the day. Unless you're in that white trade already, I would cancel your longs. If you're not in the white trade, you should be in the purple trade. And hopefully it's going to break down here. Let's see if we can make new lows. Larry, because I'm in the green trade and I put a stop and reverse adjustment on, but then it went through the purple trade, which would have canceled the white trade. So there's a new long. That would be a stop and reverse. And for me, since my stop on the green trade is higher up, I would stop and reverse at 60. Well, I put a long at 61, which is where my stop is. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. So this one never got to my adjustment. It stayed short and then got into the purple trade. And so that white trade is no longer valid anyway. And that's the reason. So I'm still short. It looks like it has a chance to go down. I don't know. Do something. It keeps just going sideways, doing nothing. But maybe it breaks through here. And there we go. Trying to get to 38 and getting to 39, of course. Missing money management by 1 tick. This is the kind of price action we're dealing with. By the way, the stop and reverse on the long trade is canceled again. Very annoying session so far. But I only went 9 ticks. I didn't even go 10 ticks. And I'm giving it a chance to get to money management. And again, unable to. Man, this is annoying. Let's just hope it drops like $20 and then we go back to our under $2 a gallon at the gas pump. I am still short on the very first trade I got into, the green trade. There's a stop and reverse now at 56. Again, trying to stay short, adjustment up to the key level of 56, targeting 67, a target that I'm not fond of because it's now 3 ticks smaller, but I do have a trailer possibility. And then you could go to target 3, I guess, and then 38, the stop. The failure to get lower could lead to a move higher. I mean, it is what it is. So Craig, back to kind of the whole thing with the pound US, right? Looks kind of similar, choppy, crappy. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I do know what the next trade in the trade plan is. And it is what it is. The chips fall the way they fall. And still short. Did not hit my adjusted entry. Definitely a harder crude oil report than what we've seen in a long time. It looks like it's trying to form a bottom in here, and it's still not sure if it's done testing it. We need to see it try to come down and break below the 39-cent level here. So far, staying below the 50 moving average is a good sign, and it may end up where it makes up its mind and starts moving with an extended move after all this. Who knows? Easy to get caught up into a lot of whipsaw, but because of our rules and relying on them and not second guessing, just relying on the rules, you can manage all this. I'm still short despite all those setups. I'm in my very first trade. And come on, you can do it.
Order
there it
filled.
is. Move your stop down, hitting full target. Amazing. Trailer. And where is your trailer? Should be at 42. Should be at 42. And, you know, we're not going to be able to trail. You have to do it manually. It's going to move to 36 if this bar closes. But there it is, 36. Wow. Like I said, the markets work in mysterious ways. If you lean on your system, you take the pressure off of yourself. If you do the testing and you've got the confidence and belief where it needs to be, you could be the casino. Then you just let the odds do what they do. And one trade is just one trade. One session is just one session. It doesn't make or break a career if you follow the rules and stick with the plan. You will make your career because your equity will go up over time. You'll be able to increase your position size. Stop moves down to 32 now. Let's see that $20 drop I just asked for. I'll even settle for a $1 drop. That'd be $1,000 per contract. I'll take it. Still in the trade. All that goobly glop, choppy up and down, and it ends up being one trade. You were there. You saw what happened. And the stop not moving. We need another leg down to get that signal line pushing lower. We got our stop hiding right where it needs to be. Trying to stay in the trade for another move down. And it's still really choppy, isn't it? It's choppy, but it's capitulating down so far. Let's make new lows here. That'd be nice. I would still keep the stop at 32. I'm not moving it to 31. I want to stay in the trade to see if it goes down. I'll give up a tick on that trailer. Now if it moves down, it'll move down to 31, and then I will move it. Well, maybe I won't. I think I'm still leaving it. 26. Should go to 26. It should go to 28. Stops can go to 28 now. And that's, I don't know why it didn't move down to 28. It should have. 26, 27, 28. Close below the signal line. That's interesting. The stop should have moved down. I don't know really why it didn't. There it is. Now it's at 28. I don't know why it didn't on this one. Oh well. 28. I mean 32 to 28. That's 4 ticks. That's significant. And still in the trade until still in the trade.
Order filled.
There. Done. Out. That's it. Well, I'm looking at this red bar here. This red bar closed below the signal line. And so because it closed below the signal line, you follow the signal line. Oh, I see what you're saying. The bar the stop, oh no, I don't know. It seems to me like, oh, I know what happened. What happened was the stop would have been at the bar, and we have a new tool. Well, it's not new, but it's the newest tool in here where we adjust the stop out of the bar. So like if you look at the calculator, you have this interesting stop adjustment that says trailer bar adjust, trailer bar trail ticks. And so what that says is that if the trailer gets inside of the bar, right, by 2 ticks, then adjust it 1 tick beyond. And adjusting it 1 tick beyond would have been 29, so then it made a key level adjustment to 31. So look, if I were to turn these off and set these to 0, let's see what happens. Yeah, well, it would have stopped out. Well, the stop did move down. It moved down to 32. Well, it didn't. Oh, it's this one. I see. It would have stopped out here anyway at 31. So there's no way to test what happened. But it did change everything, you see. So I think it had to do with that. I mean, it's amazing how such a subtle thing changes the sequence, but that's why you have to know your rules and why you do things. I mean, I was just looking at the swing level and the key level, but basically if the stop is inside the bar only by a couple ticks, we adjust it 1 tick beyond the bar. And then it kicked the key level adjustment in. So from 29, right, because the high of that bar is 28, that's where the stop would have been. Pushed it 1 tick beyond to 29, then the key level adjustment pushed it back up to 31. So that's what happened. I know it's a little confusing if you're new to all this, but you should be able to trail this signal line without the calculator anyway. It's just basic counterpunch and spotlight. It's the basics. Bob, if I am not trading on the Thinkorswim, will the trail show up or only if an actual trade is made? Just looking at the signal line now. If you're not trading on Thinkorswim, well, yeah, okay, so look at TradeStation, because this is what you're going to see on Ninja and MT4, just not on Thinkorswim. This chart, this bar here is what the calculator tracked. Like the calculator didn't know that I was in this green trade. What green trade? This one back here. It didn't know that, right? Because that's an add-on trade. So the calculator is not going to trail this particular trade properly. I mean, if I were to set the start time and make this the trackable trade, then it would track it. Because what happened is it looked like it got long, so now the calculator thinks it's long. Then it looks like it got short, now the calculator, then it looks like it got long, then it looks like it got short, and that's what's being tracked. And so this one hits money management, the stop moved down, you could see it. The stop is trailing the signal line, you could see it. But because we were in, or I was in this trade way back here, and I'm putting stop and reverse adjustments because I'm following my philosophy, right? Protect the trade I'm in. Respect the fact the market could be turning. If it is, let me make it give me some extra price action confirmation. It didn't have the confirmation. It wasn't able to get to my adjusted price. That's why we do these things. So it stayed short. So I have to know as a trader, when do I start trailing? Well, my first objective is to get to target 1. That's the money management level. With Spotlight, we get to 90% of target 1, provided it's a big enough trade. On small trades, obviously it adjusts beyond that, but this one was big enough. This isn't Spotlight, this is Counterpunch. Counterpunch says target 1 and it has to go 10 ticks. Well, target 1 was exactly 10 ticks. So I didn't move my stop when it went 9 ticks. If I did, I would have got stopped out at money management. I would have stopped out with 1 tick. Then I would have had to get long, would have turned into a loser. Then I would have got short and picked up the winner. Would have been 3 trades. If I moved my stop when it went 9 ticks, I didn't. The rules say it has to go target 1 and 10 ticks. Right? So that all those rules are helping me manage this trade. I'm not second guessing. I'm not trying to go, gee, it got so close. What should I do? Oh my goodness, it's so choppy. What should I do? No, because I'd be dead in the water if I had to go through that thought process. So I waited. You saw what happened, and then it blew through like a cannon shooting out of a, a cannonball shooting out of a cannon. Just boom. I hope I got positive slippage. Usually you don't. You get slippage. It's usually negative, but it went right through those targets. But anyway, once it got to target 1 and I moved my stop to break even, at that point in time, I have to know to trail the signal line, because the trade that the calculator is in is not yet trailing the signal line. It's thinking that this other setup, it had to get to money management and then the stop locked in 1 tick, right? But I've got to be trailing the signal line. Now, once the second trade, the trade that's actually being tracked by the calculator, got to money management, it starts trailing the signal line, and now I could use that trailer for the trade I'm in. But I'm still making little adjustments. You heard me make the adjustment around the spikes here, right? Ultimately getting out at the right place. I mean, I got out at 26, and that's exactly, or 28 it is. I got out at 28. And that's exactly where the stop ended up, because the stop ended up trailing the signal line, but not from the trade we were in or I was in, but from that one once it got caught up. You see? So Bob, it's one of those things where, we try to control everything we do with our artificial intelligence, with the tools. But in the end, we have to be traders, because the price action is always in charge, and it doesn't always cooperate. You can see it. I mean, this is a really good lesson, because we use the strategy as best we can, but we have to know when to look past the dots based on the rules of our trade plan. Because the trade plan maybe does things that the code can't do. Like this trade plan was created manually before there even was a calculator. Before there was a counterpunch trader, it was just a strategy that I was developing and using. And I did everything by hand. So when I bring it to Netpicks and develop it and work with Will and create all the code, there's compromises that have to be made. We have to create a strategy that can be duplicated and taught, and that will work universally. No small feat, right? So what I try to do is teach you how to be successful with it, not to be married to it. The strategy exists beyond the dots that get developed from the code. The strategy is bigger, more robust. That's why when someone comes in and says, I can't get these trade plans to work with the trade assist, you think the trade assist could have done what we did with this session? It can't. You cannot code for every single infinite possibility. But what we can do is come up with rules that mitigate and stack the odds on our side, as long as we're confident enough and believe enough in what we're doing and knowledgeable enough and well practiced enough to be able to just follow the rules. And as a result, I mean, this keeps winning, right? Was this a winning session? I guess if you didn't get caught up in that mess, it was. I didn't get caught up in that mess. I talked you through it. It's a winning session, but it's certainly not winning if you follow the dots. No, you follow the rules of the trade plan. So I know that's not exactly what you asked, but I wanted to give you a full breadth of the response, because there's a lot of nuance. There's just things we have to deal with as traders. Price action, the infinite challenge of ever-changing price action. Yeah, I mean, but that's good, Bob. I mean, look, you're asking really good questions, and you're getting experience to really important things. Craig, you too, everyone in here. I try to stay as consistent as I can. I try to do it the same way. I always give you the same answers. I never change my line, because, I mean, in the end, you have to get measurable results to prove your concept. You have to. Otherwise, you're just constantly going to be searching and seeking and wondering and wishing and thinking there's a conspiracy against you, and none of that's true. The market is what it is. Each and every day it is what it is. How do we benefit from it? We have to pick our moments carefully. But we can't pick our moments from the right edge of the chart looking into the blackness to the right and really know anything. We can't. We don't know anything. We don't know jack. What we can know is that the trade fits into a plan or not. The plan grows our equity or it doesn't. Little rules we do that we learn from experience over time to help accommodate some of the wiggle, some of the fringe stuff, the 3-tick adjustment around the key level that prevented getting long, those sorts of things. We learn that with time and experience. You guys have the benefit of using what we've learned, so you don't have to spend all the time and effort learning that for yourself. It's hard to put it all together if you make it hard. It's not that hard if you just think in a simple way and keep it simple. Why are you trading? One reason. It's not to be right. It's not to avoid a loss. No. You're trading to make money. You need to commit to that. If you don't commit to that, everything else that follows doesn't matter. So making money is not whether a trade wins or loses. We know this. If it was one trade and that's it, and it makes our career, either win and live like a king, or you lose and die a pauper, one trade only, okay, that's different. That's different. But that's not what we're doing. It's not one trade only. You have to stop operating like this is your last and final trade every trade you take. That's just not the right answer. That's just going to lead to losses. Len says, thanks for continuing to reiterate the factors of success. It helps to continually be reminded. We absolutely learn by repetition. Yeah, thanks, Len. I agree with you.